The mental direct perceptions arise from the faculty of the mind and clearly determines both outer and inner object. And here is the outer object and during the days, the phenomena, okay? And the inner object, it is the dreams object. This you need to outer, inner is here is the perspective. It is like a day, like appearances, night appearances, these two. And these two objects, without it, this is the mental object. And then there would be no aspect of the consciousness and capable of the perceiving all types of phenomena. No aspect of the consciousness. And it's like, then it's like, who can to know about perceiving all the different type of the phenomena, outer phenomena of the during the day, like a kind of outside our appearances, and mentally to perceive that, then you can to experience and to analyze, and also inner the object of the appearances, dream times, the phenomena, whatever we have received. And therefore is the mental object to perceive directly day and night. Night dream, day dreams. Both is like dreamed, but directly perceived by the mentally. And this is the mental capacity. This is the mental's like candle to see. And now is in this point what we are talking about. Mental perceived direct like outer appearances of the day and like the appearances. And during the day is also, of course, using the faculties. Without faculties, we cannot to receive. But through these faculties and the mental faculties, to analyze how it is functionable, how it is the dependency effect, how it is those kind of the incontestable natures, how it is these relative realities, how I can to deal, how I can to work, how I can to to establish necessity things, how I can to avoid no necessary things. Therefore, it is like, and during the dreams also, it is like kind of there are many different appearances. It is the mental, of course, through the faculties. Of course, in during the dreams, we have the memory or the patterns of the is 5 faculties. In the 5 faculties, of course, is reality qualities is in the mentality. But in the dreams, we can perceive, sound, taste, smell, everything. And this is also direct, like candle to seeing, kind of experience by the mentally. And then it's mentally and also to be to direct to experience how it is, how I can to deal, how I can to understand that. And then it's through that you can to perfectly to meditate, you can perfectly to understand those phenomena. And there's, like for example, during the day, you have pith instructions to direct meditate on direct the phenomena, how it is. Then you can to direct to see these pith instructions, goes direct these phenomena, you understand direct what is the realities. And then is during the during the day dreams, is you can to see the really nature, reality, how it is. And also during the night, we call the night yogas, day dream yogas. And also in that moment to mind us see the direct inner phenomena of the dreams, things, and to really to bring and these phenomena to analyze, to check how it is going on, Through that, we can to also meditate. Through that, we can to analyze. Through that, to realize it. It is like when we need to, to realize it, the true nature of the realities, there is many times chance. During the day, during the night, and between, there is. This is like a kind of, we say, is maybe I want to become the enlightenment, birth, and the death, and in the intermediate, the paradise. This three is like we have the chance. And longer term to say is during the birth, when we born until we die. And death, the dissolution start outer our like the element until the inner, the very secret three dissolution is finished until there is the death process. And during that moment. And then is in the paradise, in the intermediate paradise, there is like kind of, before the paradise of the coming, between there is we have. During that moment, this is the longer periods. And short periods, these three things are like going or the like kind of running, maybe even the 1 second. Maybe, of course, day and night, 1 day, 1 night, whole this process is going. Birthday, death is the before sleep, and the intermediate part of it is during the day, night. And like through this, then is direct. If we cannot to become direct, we cannot to really to look at the directly, and then how we can to realize that direct the true nature of the realities. Therefore, it is like a kind of days using this direct valid cognitions to see the really direct. It is not a kind of the stupid way. That is like a kind of, we need specific tools Buddha he give to us. The functional cause and the dependency affect and this incontestable nature, it is the relative truth is like this. And then we understood that, then we can easily to do, easily to work, easily handle the relative things. Through this experiment, through these investigations, then we have extraordinary three logicals, threefold liberation doors, liberation door, liberators. And when in the relatively, something characteristics, because it's functionable, but in the absolutely lack of the characteristics, it is the natural space. And in the relatively, it's dependency, affect. I do like this, I have wish to come in something. But it's lack of the wish. Cause itself is lack of the characteristics. What is the maturation? Just only the conceptuals. Here is using a lot of conceptuals. The nature of the individual properties also is just temporarily. It is like to kind of, it's ultimately not like this. Nature is completely essence. This is the true nature of the space, true nature of the space. Maybe without using the essence, the emptiness, emptiness, the space. It is go beyond this kind of elaborations. And therefore, this is like mentally object capable and perceiving all type of phenomena without mental direct perceptions is like impossible to do like this. And then is the third one is yogic. Yogic, this valid cognitions, goes like this. Yogi direct perceptions is the combination of meditation practiced purposely and according to the instructions. It clearly experiences its own object, and without it there would be no vision of object beyond the ordinary. And it has like a kind of object visions. He's talking about the vision of object. It's beyond the ordinaries. For example, Shavakas has vision, object, through the yogic kind of direct perceptions. Maybe it's like kind of 1,000 Buddhas field, 1,000 Buddhas. It's through the yogic meditations, vision of the object. It is beyond the ordinaries. Maybe it's like kind of the Pachika Buddhas, 10,000. Maybe Bodhisattvas is like maybe more than that, billions. Buddhas is like countless. This kind of beyond ordinary vision object. This through the yogic. This is a direct kind of experiencing. This is like through the Pita instructions, or it is like quoting the instruction means there is like kind of the quoting the sculpture of the Buddhas, quoting this like the explanation of the Pita instructions, and through the meditations experience. Therefore, yogi direct perception is the combination of the meditations. Combination of the meditation means like a kind of the completion meditation, precise meditations. And through these meditations, like a meditation of the characteristics, meditation without characteristics, or it's like the unification of the meditation of the meditative equipoise and the post-meditations. Through these meditations, you have direct experience. For example, sometimes it's like direct experience of the true nature of the realities. The direct appearances of the increase, the true nature's appearances. And also like completed the direct experience of the true natures. Then it's like the dissociable exhaustion of the direct experience into the Dharma Dhatu. This kind of full experience is like a kind of combination of the meditations through the meditation of the maybe the cutting through, leap over, or maybe it is the generations, dissolutions, so on. That you have through the meditation, yogic direct perceptions, there are. This kind of without that, how we can to have talking about the beyond the ordinary, the vision of the object. Therefore, he is talking about the yogi direct perceptions. And then is the fourth one is the awareness. Awareness, the director of the awareness. Just as this direct experience can eliminate misperceptions about outer forms and the like. This is also how it is within the mind itself. If there were some other knower, there would be no end to them. Here is the say is like through the mentally, the experience, through the mentally, how to say is mentally to experience, the mental itself has the one capacity. This capacity is we call the self-awareness. How you call the self-awareness? Look the 25th verse. You can to look, that is the name of how it's called the self-awareness. A mind that is the cognizant and aware, naturally knows its object, but at the same time is also aware of itself without relying upon something else. And this is what is termed self-awareness. This is the direct self-awareness to experiencing it. And here is like we're talking about this first ones. When we look at the direct experience, like eye faculties to see the forms, and then it's like this direct eye faculties perceived the forms, and mental faculties to have this clearly to experiencing it. And that moment you can to eliminate to other misperceptions. For example, if you are direct look at the form of the computers by the faculties, and mental faculties is you can to experience to computer like this. Same time as you can to eliminate misperception about mandala, about like tables. To other is like to you can to make the separations. And that moment you have there's the awareness to aware about the computers and to the eliminated to other things and direct you to see the dimension like kind of color. When you look at the blues, that moment is like eliminated yellow, green, other things. You are focused, you have experiencing that moment, and you have also it's like the blues. It is like this. And also that moment here it says this if the direct perception of this mental kind of the experiencing, there's no this awareness to aware of the eliminator of the wisdom aspect, understander aspect. And then it's like if someone is to knows, like for example, the mental faculties to experiencing about the computers, but that moment to clarify it, eliminated something other things to help to the mental this like the consciousness or mental this direct the faculties. And then it's very strange because also this one need others and this one is also need others here. That means, do you understand? For example, mental faculties itself hasn't got knower wisdom or like this how to is like to the eliminate to others. This capacity is not that. Maybe it's something different coming to help to the mentals. And then this helper also need other helpers. Other helper also need other. Therefore, there is no end to them. Therefore, it is the self-awareness itself. And also this is like kind of more clarified, next 25 verses. A mind that is the cognizant and aware of the faculties, what is the capture, what is the perceive. Naturally know it is the object. And also at that moment, our faculties also know about that. And same time is also there is knowable of the itself. And also it is like a kind of this knowledge of the eliminate other things. And also it is knowable self itself. This is example of the lamp. We can use a lamp. This is like a little bit, maybe it's like Chittamatas class way. It's very good. And for example, lamps. One is lamp. Lamp itself to dispel all the darkness. And also it's the same time, lamp itself, there is the self-luminosities. And the lamp itself is not necessary some others to make the luminosity itself. Itself, there is the luminosities. Therefore, it says like, same time is to have the cognizant awares naturally know that this object, but the same time is also aware of the itself. That is what we call the self-awareness direct. And therefore we are like he is talking about this self-awareness.